Hello everyone, and welcome to another video, my track guide for the Winton Club Circuit layout in the MX-5. Let's get into it. For turn 1, you want to be all the way on the left. My braking marker is the 50 board here on the left. I aim for about 70% brake pressure, so for this one I overshot it a little bit. Then I trail it all the way to the inside curb, and just as the corner starts to open up, I'll apply the throttle again, and then I let the car walk all the way to the outside curb. And of course fully on it because it's flat and we can use it, and it will help with turn 2. So put the car fully out there. For turn 2 we don't have to brake at all. Once I leave the green part of the curb here, I will let off the throttle, and once I'm fully on the curb on the inside, I'll apply the throttle again. We can do this because the curb is all flat and we won't get a 1x for doing it. And then we want to let the car walk all the way out to the curb on the outside without going into the gravel. Now bring the car over to the right side of the track. Turn 3 is all about setting up for turn 4, which in turn is all about setting up for turn 5. At the end of this curb we're on here, I'll be off the throttle and applying a little bit of brake. No more than 10%. And then I will let the car walk out to about mid-track to help get a straight line through turn 4. We want to get as close as we can to the inside curb of turn 3 and cutting as little as possible on the curb of turn 4. Then let the car walk out for turn 5. I don't have the clearest braking marker for turn 5. I try and use the bungalow here on the right side of the track, so you might need to find something that works better for you. I aim for about 80% brake pressure, easing that off all the way to the inside curb. Once I get to the curb, I'll apply the throttle again, being a little bit easy with the application of the throttle because the car can be a little bit unstable here. I do take a little bit of curb here, but that is not necessary. Just make sure to ease in the throttle. Now stay about mid-track for the next corner. For turn 6, I brake just before the curb here on the left side of the track. I aim for about 30% brake pressure, easing that off all the way to where the curb becomes thin, and then I will ease in the throttle. My goal is to come out about mid-track before the next corner to help open up and get earlier on the throttle for the exit of turn 7. So we have to sacrifice turn 6 a little bit for that. And again for turn 7 I don't have the clearest braking marker at all. Again I use the marshal's post here on the right side of the track. When I lose that out of my main monitor I'll start to brake. Again I go for about 30% brake pressure. Then you want to ease it off all the way to the curb. Once I see the yellow banners saying Winton on the outside, then I'll start to apply the throttle again. We need a good exit here, so don't be too aggressive with the throttle. Ease it in. And then I use all of the available curb on the outside. Just don't go over it. It is a bit high, so you will lose a bit of speed. Now stay on the left side of the track. If you got a bad exit out of turn 7, then you might have to defend for turn 8. I brake when I get past the curb here on the left side of the track. It is the car that needs to be fully passed, because then we can track out a little bit to open up turn 8 a bit more. Once I'm past it, I'll go to about 80% brake pressure. And again, pretty much easing it off all the way to the inside curb, when I aim to come out in the middle or right side of the track to help open up the rest of the turn. Apply throttle or brake to help stabilize the car. Then I take some curb on turn 9. Don't hit it too hard, it can untilt the car quite a lot. Again using the brake or the throttle to stabilize the car. Take a lot of turn 10. And just before turn 10, go full throttle again. If you go too early on the throttle in turn 10, or maybe slide a lot, you will end out at the wall. It has a little bump and it will kill the car. And that's a lap around Winton, the club circuit. And that's my lap around Winton Club Circuit, of a time of 1 minute, 2 seconds, 0.3. I have more track guides for the MX-5 linked down below. Hopefully this one helped you. If it did, leave a like down below. Consider subscribing as well. And now for the uninterrupted hot laps.